Hi everyone, my name is Julie Rothenberg and I am a registered dietitian here at Caring Therapists of Broward with my company Julie Energy Nutrition LLC. And today we are going to be talking about nutrition for the bride-to-be. And I recently got married last month in May, I guess that's now 2 months ago. And I had some personal experience and insight with this topic, and so it is near and dear to my heart. And I wanted to share some of my insight with you, both personally and professionally, so that for any of you guys, you future brides out there, you can feel some support and some maybe help. Maybe there are some ideas that you're now more aware of, and you have a resource to look for. So first of all, planning for a wedding is stressful. It could be stressful, and there's no really way around it. There all of a sudden is, pun intended, a lot more on your plate that you have to deal with. So I wanted to provide some tools to you. There's this whole saying now, which is shredding for the wedding, that I really don't like. I really made a conscious effort not to shred for my wedding. And I think it's a really important concept that people need to understand and take to heart, because time and time again, I see brides or people who have gotten married then come to me 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later with either double the weight that they were prior to getting engaged or married, or with an eating disorder because they drove themselves into binge eating due to stress or anorexia from restricting too much food. So this is a really intensely important thing that you should be aware of, is that do you really want to drive yourself into a situation for after the wedding, thinking about how you're going to feel, and it could really impact you negatively after the wedding. So shredding for the wedding, take that out of your vocabulary. Now add in zenning for your wedding. That was something that I tried to do on a weekly basis that I'd recommend for you. I know Amanda a couple weeks ago had some really good pointers about self-care during the time of your engagement, and I too want to piggyback on that and say I really believe in zenning for your wedding and making a point to have one activity a week at least, hopefully daily, that you can do just for you. Maybe it's doing a yoga routine, maybe it's getting a manicure or pedicure, lighting a candle, reading a book, doing something that is not work and wedding and all that stuff. That also being said, some really zenning activities also are equally as beneficial for moving your body. And you want to also have a really good relationship with working out. So I'm going to touch on that in a minute too. So taking the opportunity to take your focus off of diet onto yourself and feeling more empowered and feeling better about yourself is my first tip. The second one is, all right, we all know the wedding dress is something that's really important. It's a really big part of your day. And a number one tip that I would give for making sure your body is wedding ready is be ready when you buy your dress. Wear a dress that you fit into, that you love, that you feel good in the day you get it. That way, you're not stressed out. You're not trying to reduce your size by 2 sizes, 3 sizes, 4 sizes, something crazy. Be excited about the dress the day you get it. That will really impact you in the long run, because at least you have the confidence that no matter what happens in the duration of your planning, you're going to look good in your dress. The second thing is focus on only things that you can control. You know, go get your hair trial, go get your makeup trial, do some things on the exterior that could help you to feel confident that the day of your wedding, you're going to look your best you. And that doesn't have to be manipulating your body at all. That's finding a vendor that you agree with, finding a vendor that makes you feel comfortable, that they know exactly what you're looking for the day of your wedding. All right, nutrition. So there's never a time like now to start eating intuitively. And intuitive eating is not a diet. This is actually a non-diet mentality, and I call myself actually a non-diet dietitian because I'm certified in what's called intuitive eating. And what better than right now to start yourself on an intuitive eating journey? Among all the other things on your plate, I know it could be something a little bit challenging to think about, or maybe it's a lot for you to add to your daily routine, but if you can focus on learning some mindfulness techniques around food during this time, you're going to be so much better off. So I'll give you my top few because I could talk for an hour about this. Make sure that you learn your hunger and fullness cues. Really get attuned to your body and eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full. When you're actually physically comfortably full. And when you know that you're comfortably full, you're full for about 3 or 4 hours. Now, how can you get to comfortably full from being hungry? Eat a balanced meal. Make sure that you're planning ahead during your week. Make your meals have protein, carbohydrates, fats, and non-starchy vegetables. Have balance throughout your day. Don't just pick one meal a day to be balanced and then reduce all of the other carbohydrates or whatever throughout the rest of your day. No. Have protein, carbs, fats at every meal. Have a protein and a carb at every snack. Make sure you're staying on top of things. And if you're staying on top of things, that also means planning ahead. You don't need to plan out a meal plan. You don't need to make food and put it in tiny boxes and bring it with you every single day. But make sure you know what you're eating at least, at very minimum, the night before for the next day. If you're well planned, then you're more capable of having balance and bringing balance to your diet. Now, that might mean like making a grocery list. In all of this planning time, you might have lists after list after list, but the most important list that you can make are things that's going to affect your day-to-day life, like a grocery list. That's where I come to play. I also have been working on a Nutrition for the Bride package after seeing what is going on here with planning for the wedding. And I'm incorporating a 3-month intuitive eating practice geared towards focusing on brides that can help you with grocery planning and meal planning and incorporating intuitive eating skills that we all need to know. Now, okay, we're balanced. We're having our healthy foods, we're having our fun foods, we're having a good relationship with food as we go. Exercise. I see brides all of a sudden being really militant about their exercise, and it really pains me to see because just like dieting, if you are extreme dieting before your wedding, and that's not sustainable for after your wedding, the same thing applies to exercise. So no time like now to get your booty up in action and moving the way you want to, but that's the key. Move the way you want to. If you're doing exercise that you hate, you're going to ruin your relationship with movement. Find something that you enjoy, whether it's walking around the block, jogging, doing something like CrossFit or Pilates. Find something new. Stick to it in a reasonable way. Be realistic about how often you're going to work out. If you can't work out every day, great. Work out once a week. Work out twice a week. Do something, but do a movement you enjoy, the amount that's realistic for you. Okay, we all want to look our best on the day. Great. Well, looking your best means nothing if you're not healthy. So how can you stay healthy during a stressful time? Yes, you want to be sleeping regularly, you want to be moving regularly, you want to have balanced foods, but incorporating some special foods into your diet might be helpful. One would be vitamin C. I know for about a month before my wedding, I made sure that I either incorporated a food source of vitamin C or one of those emergency 1,000 milligram packets every single day. That guaranteed me to have a little bit more of a boost for my immune system when maybe I was a little more tired or stressed out than I usually would be. So foods that would be high in vitamin C would be something like oranges, which we all think of when we think of vitamin C, strawberries, papaya, bell peppers, Japanese mustard, spinach. Broccoli is a good source of vitamin C. So as you can see, you don't even need to just have juice or oranges for vitamin C, but definitely 1 month before the wedding, start stocking up on your vitamin C. Another thing, a helpful herb called turmeric is really helpful for anti-inflammatory. If you notice that you're finding inflammation in your body and maybe your joints are hurting because stress can cause us to have some joint pain too, add some turmeric to your diet. Maybe put turmeric in a smoothie. Put turmeric in a vegetable that you're making. But that's one of the best anti-inflammatory foods out there. So we've got vitamin C and we've got turmeric. Another really important thing, if you're thinking about having fresh skin for your wedding day, make sure you're well hydrated. Really, you want to stay hydrated. Have at least 8 cups of water per day for at least a month, hopefully more, before your wedding, so that you can have hydrated skin, that glowing skin that you're looking for. If we're talking about skin, you also want to make sure you're having a wide range of fruits and vegetables. If you don't typically eat fruits and vegetables, I'd consider taking a multivitamin. Now, I'm a dietitian. I think food first, but if you're noticing that you're lacking in fruits and vegetables throughout your day, get one of those multivitamins just to make sure you're well covered. That will make sure that your skin has its healthiest chance to glow and that everything in your immune system has the healthiest chance to be, healthy. So leading up to your wedding, especially in that 1 month before, is really helpful for boosting your immune system. Leading up to your wedding prior to that, like I said, is helpful for balance, is helpful for if you plan ahead, make your grocery list, do a little food prep. Now, food prep doesn't necessarily have to mean, like I said, putting food in tiny boxes. It means going to the grocery store. It means getting a nice variety of proteins, carbohydrates, fats, and vegetables to have on hand. Last week, I made dinner in 1 second. I had some frozen chicken breasts that I had in the freezer. I had frozen vegetables, and I had a nice package of rice that I made in the microwave. And it was a really quick 30-minute prep time that I had with my protein, carbs, vegetables. I added some olive oil. There I have protein, carb, fat meal. So you don't need to be a gourmet chef. You don't need to have all the time in the world to eat a balanced meal, but you do need to plan ahead. And that is key here. So one thing that I hope you take away from today also in efforts to really change in terms of balance and intuitive eating is planning ahead. Now, for the day of, I don't think I looked in the mirror one time on my wedding day. And to me, that's really ironic because as a bride, you're so focused on how you're going to look when I actually did not. It occurred to me at the end of the night that I had no idea how I even looked that day. And it's because you're full of emotion. You're so happy. Hopefully you're focused on your husband-to-be of that day. Hopefully you're focused on all the family and friends that you have coming to be with you. Hopefully you have an awesome DJ or band or whatever music that you like that you're having fun dancing to. And that's really what matters. So instead of putting a year and a half, 10 months, however long your engagement is, all that focus on being a certain size, think about how fun your day will be. And that's something that goes along with one of my intuitive eating principles of not compromising for the big event. And I think that puts all this together is that this is a big event in your life. It's a special event in your life. It's one of the best days in your life. But focus on all of those things. It doesn't matter the size that you are on that day of your life. That's not what you're going to remember. You will remember how you feel. So make sure that you're planning ahead and focus on the feelings of the day. Get excited for the day. There's a lot of anxiety leading up to the day, but if you can focus on how you want to feel that day instead of how you want to look, you're going to put yourself off in a much better position. So just to recap, I hope that we covered some grounds with not shredding for the wedding, but zenning for the wedding. Planning ahead for protein, carb, fat, non-starchy vegetable meals to get you from hungry to full. Being more mindful. One of the best mindfulness tips is if you're stressed out, don't turn to food. Handle that stress without turning to food. There's a lot of different stress coping mechanisms that you can have. That's why here at the Caring Therapist of Broward, we have a lot of therapists that can help you manage that stress. But there's a lot of tools in general that you can utilize and really pause before taking a bite and really understand, are you hungry or is there something else going on? So we're planning ahead, we're being more mindful and intuitive, and then leading up, we're incorporating more anti-inflammatory foods and spices and also some extra water to hydrate and some vitamin C so that you can kick in your immune system and feel healthy. And then that day of, You're going to be your best version of yourself no matter what. So cut the stress before all of that. And make sure, like I said, buy a dress that you love, that you fit into the day you get it. So if you have any more questions or any more concerns about bridal nutrition, I'd be happy to talk to you a little bit more about it. My email address is julieenergynutrition@gmail.com, or you can visit my website, www.julieenergynutrition.com. Have a great day, and have a happy and a healthy day too.